The Kent State Golden Flash's women's soccer team faced off with the Western Michigan Broncos over the weekend. Let's see if they got back into the win column with the help of a blackout at Dick Stadium.
Ohio State was at home this weekend against an Iowa team who totes a top rushing offense in the nation. Could the Buckeyes stay unbeaten?
And in the professional ranks, the Cleveland Browns went down to Landover, Maryland to take on the Washington Commanders, who were sitting at 3-1 coming into Sunday. We'll give you the breakdown of what happened and more, because a brand new, shiny, never-before-seen episode of Sportscorner begins right now. Welcome to a brand new Sports Corner, everyone. Thanks for joining us alongside Liv Sharp. I'm Matt Caroli. It was a soccer Saturday here in Kent as they faced off against Western Michigan. And Liv, it was a homecoming of sorts for one player on the Broncos.
Yeah, that's right. Former Golden Flash Callie Cunningham made her return to Zeller Field for the first time since transferring to Western Michigan for her grad year.
And it was also a matchup of the two best teams in the MAC, but Kent State would fall to the Broncos by the final of 3-1. They hosted Western Michigan Saturday as Kent State opened the scoring in the 18th minute thanks to freshman Jules Delinsky, who scored her first goal in her collegiate career. This was short-lived, however, as the Broncos would go on to 2 goals in 10 minutes, ending the first half up 2-1. Kent State's offensive struggles continued as they could not find a shot on goal in the second half, as Western Michigan would take it by that 3-1 final. Kent State returns to action on Thursday as they visit the Northern Illinois Huskies.
The Kent State field hockey team split their 2 matchups over the weekend. The Flashes lost at home to Appalachian State Mountaineers on Friday and defeated the Michigan State Spartans in East Lansing on Sunday. The defense made a huge difference in both games as freshman Leif Jansen earned 16 saves over 2 games and forced 3 unsuccessful penalty attempts against the Spartans. Kent State will hit the road over the weekend as they take on James Madison and Ohio State. KSTV's Alex Isaiah got the chance to talk to head coach Heather Hefner on her team's performance after the loss.
Yeah, I mean, I thought honestly it was a really gritty, hard-fought game. I thought App State had a great game plan. They came out, worked hard, and I think our girls did really well. I think that we got a little sloppy in the fourth quarter, so that's kind of the biggest takeaway, right? It was 3 quarters of a really hard fight and got sloppy a little bit defensively in the fourth quarter, which I think allowed that last goal in.
Now moving out east, the Kent State volleyball team traveled to Buffalo for a doubleheader this weekend. The Flashes continue their rough start to the year after dropping both games 3-0. Despite the loss, junior Kendall White recorded her 6th double-double of the season with 17 assists and 13 digs in the second match as she continues to be a bright spot for this team. Kent State will head back on the road to take on Northern Illinois Thursday as they look to turn their season around.
We take things to the links as the Kent State men's golf team competed in their 4th tournament on Sunday at the Warren Golf Course. Senior Jordan Gilkison led the Flashes through the first 2 rounds of the Fighting Irish Classic with a 3 over par 73 before putting up a 3 over 67 par in the second round. Notre Dame remains at the top of the standings at a 2 over par, while Kent State will hope to lead from their 9th place spot. The Flashes will finish the tournament on Monday with the final set at 8:30 a.m.
All right, now let's go to our golden flashback as we take you all the way back to October 7th of 2000 as Kent State football took down Central Michigan 24-21 in overtime thanks to the leg of junior Dave Pavich, who hit a career-long 49-yard field goal. Pavich said, quote, "Everything happened right and it went through. I didn't even know how far it was until after the fact because I didn't even look," end quote. An even sweeter victory for Pavich, who had been struggling partially due to a preseason surgery. Who knew he would be the MVP of the day? This win also gave the Flashes their first ever overtime win in the history of the program. This has been another Golden Flashback.
Friday Night Football this weekend brought a rivalry renewed, and KSTV has all the action. But first, we start with our weekly check-in on the Tigers in Twinsburg. It was a beautiful homecoming weekend in Twinsburg. They host their rival, the Solon Comets. Could they get that Hoco win? Let's see. Tiger QB Joey Pollock with the rock. He's got no one around, so he roars down the field himself. A 40-yard rushing touchdown to put Twinsburg up 7-0 in the first quarter. Now, Twinsburg had an unsuccessful drive, and they go to punt the ball, and say it with me, special teams, special plays, special players. Braden Springer fields it, and the Tigers can't bring him down. So many missed tackles as he takes it all the way to the end zone for a touchdown, and we are tied at 7. We now head all the way to the third, and Twinsburg's punting problems continue. Now, we saw a lot of muffed punts this weekend in college football. We're going to see another one, but this one, high school football edition. That snap is way over the Kyle Anello's head, and he manages to fall on it, but Solon will end up setting shop at the 15. Henry sharply takes the handoff, and he runs it to put Solon up 14-7. But hey, this is Twinsburg's homecoming game. They're not going down to their own house. Joey Pollock gets a rushing touchdown to tie the game up at 14. We had a lot more action as the game continued, but the Tigers eventually get their homecoming win 27-21 over the Comets.
Out at Streetsboro, they come into their matchup 6-0, taking on Woodridge. And like Twinsburg, this was also their homecoming game. We'll take you opening Rockets drive with 11:04 left in the first. This is quarterback Cohen Klimak, who takes it to the outside, breaks a couple of tackles. You can see they're trying to bring him down by the jersey. He will not go down. 55 yards for the score, 7-0. Next Bulldog possession on a 4th and 6. How about the swat from Jackson Gula, forcing a turnover on downs? More from Gula later. After a 50-yard run from running back Marcus Council on the next drive, Klimak will take it in on the outside for the score. It's 14-0 Rockets with 53 seconds left in the first. Another Rockets touchdown here, this time from Marcus Council. Watch how he breaks these tackles. I mean, they may call him Marshawn Lynch the way he's been running the football. It's 21-0 Streetsboro. That would be the score through 1. Midway through the second, Rockets are on the move. There's another 8-yard touchdown from Council. He also had an interception in this game. It's 28-0. And then you want to talk about making your presence felt on defense. There's an interception from Gula. He will take this all the way down to the Woodridge 20. Rockets' second turnover of the night, and less than a minute left in the half. Janier Cook will score a touchdown. It's 35-0 Streetsboro at the half, 42-0 Streetsboro. The 5th shutout of the year for the Rockets. It's a school record.
We head out to Walsh High School to wrap this up. They host Hoban in a miniature little holy war. Kellen Moten at QB for the Warriors. He pauses and fires today. Aiden Henry, he reels it in, and the Warriors are up 7-0 to start the second. Moten takes the snap. He's got no one open, so hey, he'll take it himself. He darts across the field, and he takes it all the way to the crib. The extra point is blocked, but Walsh is still up 13-0. We go through the second, and then we head to the third. No score change. The Knights are still looking for that elusive first score. Will they get it? Well, they've got a little bit of a trick play here. Ethan Rosandich at QB, a pitch backwards and a heave downfield. Hoban struggling to play football, so why not? They'll try rugby. This sets them up at the 35. The following play, Trent Hayden at QB to Jack Johnson. He climbs the ladder and reels it in, and Hoban now trails 13-7. But hey, it ain't over till there are triple zeros on the clock. Don't call this one a comeback, but the Knights do seem to play better at night. Hayden hits Brayton Feister, and Hoban takes the lead for the first time in this game, up 14-13. But hey, they call them the Warriors for a reason. They're gonna fight back. Kellen Moten ices it himself with a rushing touchdown. Absolutely stellar night for Moten. Hail Mary from Hayden ends up getting picked off in the end zone. The buzzer rings. That will do it. The Warriors win it 19-14 over Hoban.
And Walsh Church was a tough place to play. And how about that, taking down the Knights? All right, so some more high school football scores around the state of Ohio. Avon goes to 7-0, taking down Berea 49-7. Out in Stark County, McKinley in overtime thanks to a Nino Hill touchdown run and a defensive stop. The Bulldogs remain unbeaten in the Federal League with their win over Hoover. Urbana 422 total yards in their matchup with Kenton Ridge, and Strongsville 3 touchdowns on special teams in their 49-14 win over Medina. Well, now going on to college football, there was a lot going on, including a new #1 in town, and they were put to the test on Saturday. Could Alabama keep its top spot in Nashville against Vanderbilt?
brush, brushy brush, brushy brush, brush your teeth every day and every night. Now it's your parents' turn. Here's what you gotta do. Let them have your toothbrush so that they can brushy brush your teeth. Good job, you're almost done. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's it. Help your teeth stay healthy. Brushy brush with a grown-up every day.
Welcome to my block party. Glad you can make it.
I can do this all day. Your moves are just gay.
Using gay to mean dumb or stupid, not cool. Not in my house, not anywhere. It's not creative, it's offensive to gay people. And you're better than that.
You think you're just checking your messages or telling a friend you're on your way. They could be the last words you ever type. Make sure you get where you're going.
We mentioned it at the top of the show. There was a pair of eyes going at it in Columbus. The Buckeyes and Hawkeyes at the shoe. Let's take you there. It is going to be Iowa looking for an upset, but on the other sideline, a gray out for the Buckeyes. We'll pick it up late first quarter scoreless, but the Buckeyes are on the move. Will Howard rolls right, go to target Emeka Egbuka. It's 7-0 Buckeyes. That would be the score at half. An early third, Ohio State has a first and goal. Howard says, Jeremiah Smith, can you give me a hand? And he says, absolutely. That is Smith's third overall touchdown in the last 2 games, and it's 14-0 Ohio State. After Iowa fumbled, watch this graphic here that's going to come up on your screen. 0 rushing touchdowns allowed this season for Iowa. Well, Will Howard will fake it and keep it himself, and he says, yeah, until now. Broadcast jinx, I don't know. That's the 4th rushing touchdown of the year for Howard. It's 21-0. They put up 21 points in the third, and Howard hits Egbuka in the 4th quarter to go on top 35-0. Iowa's next drive, Caleb Johnson says, how about we get that goose egg off the board? It's a 28-yard touchdown, 35-7. Ohio State over Iowa is the final. The Buckeyes move in the rankings. We will tell you where exactly just in a little bit, but the Buckeyes take care of business against the Hawkeyes.
Well, Matt, the Buckeyes survived against the Hawkeyes, but many teams this weekend were unable to, as we travel to Fayetteville, Arkansas, where the Vols haven't won in 23 years. Now, as I said, folks, welcome to the dangerous stadium. As quarterback Nico Maliaba, he would hand off to running back Dylan Sampson, who washes in easily 4-6 for the Vols. Then, similar situation again in the third quarter. He's going to hand off right back to Dylan Sampson. Boom. Did you see that shove? Then quarterback Taylon Green, he finds wide receiver Andrew Armstrong for an absolute marvel of a catch. But the sad story of this play, quarterback Taylon Green, he would bend his ankle on this play and he would not return into the game. Then backup Malachi Singleton, he would hand off to Braylon Russell, who would find open grass in Volunteer territory, and then that would set up Arkansas for an option play here as Malachi Anderson, he's going to ice skate uphill, and stumble his way to give the Razorbacks the lead as the fans are going absolutely wild. Then Iamaliava, he's going to scramble and try and find some volunteers in the end zone. Unfortunately, he would find nothing. Razorbacks across the world celebrate. You have knocked off the 4th-ranked Tennessee Volunteers.
We head out to Minnesota. Sorry, I had to. Anyways, they're hosting the USC Trojans. Let's see how the Golden Gophers do. Second and goal for USC. QB Miller Moss with a pass to Deuce Robinson. USC up 7-3. Trojans back in the red zone. Running back Woody Marks takes the direct snap and scampers into the end zone. Now Minnesota's in the red zone, and Max Brosmer fakes it, keeps it, and gets another rushing touchdown. We're tied at 17. Take a look at the replay. Even I was fooled by this fake, and guess what? So is the USC D-line. Brosmer picks up his 2nd rushing touchdown. The Golden Gophers with some Minnesota muscle to push Brosmer into the end zone. He's got a hat trick. Look at that. He just wedges his way in there. Minnesota leads it 24-17.
All right, well, that was a crazy Big Ten game. Let's go to the SEC. Number 1 Alabama going into Nashville to take on Vanderbilt. First Commodore drive. It's going to be a 3rd and 1 from the 6. Cedric Alexander bullies his way to the goal line for the touchdown. It's 7-0 Vandy. So how will Milroe and company respond? Well, on the next drive, 3rd and 6, this ball is tipped up in the air and picked off by Randon Fontenette, and he will take it the distance for the touchdown. It's 14-0 Commodores in the blink of an eye. In the second half, Vandy's still up 23-14, but folks, This is Alabama. They are not going to go down quietly as Jalen Milroe runs it in from 14 yards out on the first drive of the second half. It is now 23-21 Vanderbilt. Later in the quarter, Commodores with the ball. Diego Pavia finds a wide open Junior Sherrill. He may wear number 0, but he ain't playing like one. That's a 36-yard score. It's 30-21. Next tie drive, Jalen Milroe says, I can do one better there, Diego. Ryan Williams! Oh my goodness, 58-yard score. It's 30-28. Both teams going shot for shot. Now Pavia finds Cameron Johnson to add on to the lead, and they are bouncing on Broadway. Vanderbilt gets their first win against the Tide since 1984, 40-35.
Let's go out to College Station where the Aggies are hosting Missouri. Texas A&M already up 17-0. 3rd and 13 for the Aggies. And Connor Weigman uncorks and looks deep for Ja'Day Walker. What a grab. Let's look at that again. How in the world did he make that catch? That is a highlight play for sure. Second and goal for A&M. Le'Veon Moss gets the handoff, dodges, and stretches his way for 6 Aggies. Up big 24-0. We now head to the second half. Moss takes the handoff. He's going to hit the hole, and he's got green in front of him. There is a train running through College Station, and his name is Le'Veon Moss. He takes it 75 yards to the house, and Mizzou is powerless to stop at A&M. Up 31-0. Missouri just fighting to avoid a shutout. Brady Cook escapes the pressure and finds Theo Weiss Jr. way downfield. Missouri finally gets on the board, but hey, let's see one more Moss highlight because he had a spectacular day. This will be his 3rd touchdown with 12 carries and 138 yards. Texas A&M absolutely destroys Missouri by a final score of 41-10.
Jeez, you may have to catch your breath after doing those college football highlights. Okay, so Liv, here's a look at the AP poll. Texas and Ohio State jump up 1. Oregon and Penn State go up 3 spots. You have Miami jumping 2. Alabama and Tennessee both fall, and Ole Miss and Clemson catapult in the top 10.
My God, I mean, Texas, all things considered, they had an excellent bye week. They got to sit back and jump right back up into that number 1 spot.
All right, so with all the craziness that happened in college football, we bring back Gage Wellman onto the desk. Gage, what do you make of all the madness that happened this past week?
Well, Matt, this is unprecedented. This will go down as one of the most memorable weekends in college football history, with 4 teams ranked in the top 11 of the AP poll, losing to unranked teams, including SEC powerhouses, the Tennessee Volunteers, as you mentioned, the number 1 ranked Alabama Crimson Tide. There is a cloud of uncertainty among the elusive top 12 in this new playoff bracket, and expect matchups this week between the Bucks and the Ducks, LSU and Mississippi, and the classic Red River rivalry game between the Oklahoma Sooners and the Texas Longhorns. That will really shape up the 12-team bracket and kind of give us an idea of what to expect after this week. I could see a new number 1 in this poll, as we have the number 2 Ohio State versus number 3 Oregon. Kind of that back half of the top 12, that 6-12 region, I would say keep an eye out for those undefeated Brigham Young Cougars who play Arizona this week. Keep an eye out for them. They are ranked 14th and could benefit from a few teams losing, say a team like Clemson. You could really see a total shakeup. It was just absolute cinema this week, Matt and Liv. It was a treat to watch. I spent my whole week excited for it, my whole Saturday just watching and enjoying it.
Nice.
Well, speaking of things to expect, Gage, what do you believe we'll be seeing from that Bucks and Ducks, that late game Ohio State-Oregon matchup?
Liv, I expect nothing short of an instant classic in Eugene, Oregon. We have seen both of these teams perform almost flawlessly. The Bucks, they have mastered this a grueling running game with 2 All-American running backs in Mississippi transfer Quinton Junkins and Travion Henderson, and a sharp passing game that includes true freshman, 18 years old, Jeremiah Smith, who in 5 games, folks, has got 6 touchdowns for 453 yards. On the flip side, we have an Oregon team that has easily taken care of all of its opponents and even survived a visit from the Boise State Broncos and Heisman hopeful Ashton Jeanty. I personally will be keeping a close eye on that Oregon defense, with leading tackler linebacker Bryce Betcher, who's sure to be an impact player against OSU. Now, ultimately, and this may be a bit of a homer thing, I don't know, guys, I think the Buckeyes' offense will be a bit too much for this Eugene-Oregon defense to handle. I think, but as the season is shown in just 6 weeks, you never know what to expect this season.
Oh, absolutely. And kind of to put a bow on things, who impressed you the most this weekend? Because someone that cemented themselves as, real players in the conversation, there could be teams that could fall out of the conversation as we sit here in October.
One team that I watched this weekend, and, Matt, questions like this is why I love college football, because this just absolutely tickles my brain. For starters, the Miami Hurricanes, and folks, you might have missed this game if you're on the East Coast. This was a late night West Coast game. Not only did they survive the upset bid against the Cal Berkeley Bears, they actually came back, and that shows mental toughness. In such a straining environment like the college football landscape, having the mental wherewithal, that strength that the Hurricanes showed late Saturday night, that really made me ponder that the U could make a run in the ACC and ultimately end up in the 12-team bracket. Along with the Canes, I like what I saw from the Iowa State Cyclones, who, since upsetting state rival Iowa in their second game of the season, they have been undefeated, and if Oklahoma and Utah are unable to win this weekend, folks, Iowa State now becomes the de facto leader of Power 4 Conference, which gives you an auto bye in the playoff bracket, and if they can win out, or at least win the Big 12, maybe they drop a game at the end there to Kansas State or to Utah. But if you see them in the playoffs, folks, watch out for the Iowa State Cyclones as a dark horse this winter.
Well,
I mean, we're very excited for the rest of the college football season. Maybe not as excited as you, but nonetheless,
I'm just
thank you.
jazzed.
Thank you for your commentary. We'll see you back here in a little bit.
Thank you very much.
Upsets certainly were the theme for this week, and our college football spotlight is on a player who was featured in one of said upsets, SMU quarterback Kevin Jennings. Jennings went off on the road at Louisville on Saturday, leading the Mustangs to a 34-27 win against the 22-ranked Cardinals. Jennings threw for 281 yards with no touchdowns and no picks, but where he really excelled was on the ground. Jennings ran for 113 yards and a touchdown on 10 carries with a long rush of 59 yards. 394 yards, no turnovers, and a score in the ranked win on the road is a performance worthy of our spotlight this week. Crazy enough, though, Jennings' game on Saturday isn't even the most interesting storyline about him this season. Because, get this, Jennings didn't even begin the year as SMU's starter. In week 1, Jennings was the backup to Preston Stone, and he took the job after the Mustangs struggled on offense early in the year. Seeing a player begin the year as a backup and then step into the limelight like this is what makes college football so special. The best division of football had yet another instant classic yesterday. Could the Ravens win 3 straight, or could the Bengals make a statement at home?
Will spend 15 minutes watching online videos like this one.
Brushing for 2 minutes now can save your child from severe tooth pain later. 2 minutes, twice a day. They have the time.
When I was your age, I was just like you, fascinated by stars. But now I get to search for life in the universe. And who knows, maybe life is looking for us too.
So we're like aliens to them?
Yeah. Does anyone want to be a scientist now?
I do.
Awesome. We need more girls in STEM.
Maybe we can find aliens.
When we adopt a shelter pet, we discover they're a unique mix of all kinds of things. There it is. Keep going with it. Leo. They're a little bit of a lot of things, but they're all pure love.
Hamilton was adopted from a rescue in 2008. He's quite the pug about town. He gets invited to a lot of parties. He knows he's a pretty big deal. How could you not love him?
The Cleveland Browns travel to Washington to take on rookie quarterback Jaden Daniels and the Commanders. Let's see if Cleveland can stop this red-hot QB, as we'll take you there to Northwest Stadium, as Daniels is ready to lock in after a 3-1 start so far through 4 weeks for the Commanders. Washington driving early, but on 3rd and goal, Daniels is picked off by Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah. The Browns would go 3 and out on that drive, however, and on the next Commanders possession, First and goal from the 4. They give it to Brian Robinson Jr., who breaks away from Grant Delpit's would-be tackle to the end zone for the touchdown. It's 7-0 Commanders. In the second, Washington's up 10-3. Jaden Daniels led all players in rushing in this game. Here's a good reason why. 34-yard gain on 4th and 3. Washington is set up first and goal at the 3. 2 plays later, Robinson will get it again, and he will have his second touchdown of the afternoon. It's 17-3 Commanders. On the next Browns drive, right out of the 2-minute warning, 3rd and 5 from the 32. Deshaun Watson will be sacked as he's blocked into by Jerome Ford. Bobby Wagner on the pressure. Browns would be forced to punt. They would punt 8 times on this Sunday afternoon. Before the half, 2nd and 7. Daniels will lob it up. It's a beautiful ball to De'Ami Brown for the 41-yard score. It's 24-3. Commanders in front at the break. Washington wins it by the final of 34-13. Commanders 4-1. Browns start 1-4.
Giddy up, football fans. We're going for a ride around the NFL. I'm Della Fowler, and this ain't my first rodeo. We'll start down south in the ATL. That's right, Tampa Bay taking a visit a little westward, visiting Kirk Cousins and the Falcons on a Thursday night. Big Kirko starting off with a big arm pass to Darnell Mooney. It's 14-10, Falcons with the lead. Now it's Baker's turn with the pigskin. What is he going to cook? Little pressure, no problem pass to Mike Evans in the corner. It is 17-14 for number 13. Cousins now, he's going to hit Darnell Mooney again, causing me a lot of pain in fantasy the week, but it's fine. That's still a touchdown. Numero dos on the night for Mooney, 27-27 to all tied up. Mayfield fakes the handoff, drops back, decides, you know what, I'm just going to go for a little jog. How about a first down and then some from the Bake Show? That'll set up a field goal off of the foot of McLaughlin for the lead. It's 30-27. The Falcons are going to have to hustle, and that they will. Kirk Cousins now, a connection to Drake London for the first down. Let's get that ball spiking, people. Come on, come on, come on, spike it. Then they're going to go to their kicker. Koo votes yes for bonus football off of this kick. We are going to overtime. 58 last week, 52 this week. Sensational foot for Atlanta. It's going to be overtime, people. Short pass, but a long game. Hodge is going to put on his super sneaks and send the Bucks packing all the way home. Hit the sway, Falcons fans. It's going to be a 36-30 final in overtime.
Well, it is a dreary day in Jacksonville, Florida. Let's see if the Jags can bring some sunshine to these fans. Trevor Lawrence drops back to pass and hits Brian Thomas Jr. from the right side. He's got some separation, and he takes it home for an 85-yard touchdown. Jags lead it 10-7. 1st and 10, a handoff to Tank Bigsby, and the Tank rolls right through that Colts line and gets by with a little help from his friends. He swings into the end zone. This won't be the last we see of Bigsby, but just take a second to appreciate this play. His lineman fully just hurls him into the end zone. Appreciate that angry run. Jags lead 20-10. I told you we would see more of Bigsby. He gets the pitch, breaks a tackle, stiff arm. He's a free man. Bigsby takes it 65 yards for the score. Jacksonville is up big time, but there is still hope for the Colts. Joe Flacco starting. He drops back and drops it in the breadbasket of Alex Pierce. He turns on the Jets and ties this game up at 34. 35 ticks left for Jacksonville. What will Trevor Lawrence cook up? Well, he's going to find Christian Kirk, and he scurries his past the field goal line, and you know what that means. Jacksonville brings out Cam Little, 49 yards right through the uprights. Jags get their first win, 37-34.
All right, keeping things in the AFC, big-time matchup in the North. Lamar Jackson taking on Joe Burrow. Ravens-Bengals from Cincinnati. Final seconds of the second quarter. Ravens up 14-9. Burrow will hit his favorite target, Jamar Chase, for the 41-yard score. They get the 2-point conversion, and it's Cincy on top at the break, 17-14. In the second half, Bengals looking for more as Burrow hits T. Higgins, as Cincinnati now goes on top by 10. Let's fast forward to the fourth. It's 31-28, Cincinnati in front, and Burrow hits Chase, and Jamar Chase breaks a tackle, and he will turn on the afterburners. A 70-yard touchdown puts the Bengals on top, back by 10. Burrow went 30 of 39, 392 yards, 5 touchdowns. Now on this next Ravens drive, you see Jackson fumbling the snap, trying to get away from Sam Hubbard. He does. And look at this. Improvisation leading to execution. Isaiah Likely touchdown catch. It's 38-35 Bengals. With a minute 40 left in the fourth, Justin Tucker from 56 yards, and the 13-year vet has still got it. That will send this game to overtime, and in the overtime period, Evan McPherson from 53 and the win, no good. Wide left, and the Ravens have life. On the very next play from scrimmage, it's a toss to Derrick Henry, and the crown stays on the head of the king. A 51-yard run will be tackled down at the 6. The Ravens will trot out Tucker on the very next play. It's a 24-yard try, no doubt. Ravens win it 41-38, and after starting the year 0-2, Baltimore has now won 3 in a row.
Texans, indebatably the best alternates in the league, facing off with the Bills. CJ Stroud starting the game with the handoff to Cam Akers. This guy is just too fast. He outruns the defense and scores touchdown number 1 on the day of the game overall. Josh Allen nowhere to be seen in this first half. CJ Stroud, though, he's showing off his long ball. Nico Collins making it look easy. CJ Stroud gonna hit the post for the 14-3 lead. I'm still thinking about that little cross arm action. Josh, welcome home. A big 4th down. He shows he's here, don't worry, and so is Keon Coleman. A hard guy to get on the ground and even harder to catch down the sideline. The Bills are rallying. Stroud, he's going to be under all the pressure, and it is going to get the best of him. The ball is out, and the Bills say, mine. Now, it's going to be a long punt. Woods, and the guy who's going to get it is Woods. He's going to stumble and just get as far as he can for his kicker. Page ortho, people. The Texans need a foot out of this world. And Kayemi Fairbairn says, no surgery necessary. I got this. Cardiac Texans strike again. They rounded out with a huge win against the Bills, 23-20 final, making up for some unfortunate October success from the Astros. We'll start off. How are we feeling about the NFL this week?
The NFL was crazy.
Yes, it was.
It was insane, in a word. I would like it if we could have maybe like 1 week of like calm football, but I don't think we're gonna get that. Week 5 was one for the books. It wraps up tonight though with the Saints and the Chiefs. Della, what was the biggest surprise for you this week?
Absolutely the Denver Broncos. I mean, Bo Nix. High scoring output since 2021. First time they beat the Raiders since 2019, which is their rivals. It's often forgotten because, I mean, Broncos the last couple of years. Anyway, Javonte Williams, he was resurrected from this knee injury he suffered in 2022. 77 yards on 16 carries alone. Really impressed with the Broncos scoring. And I think if they keep their O-line healthy, they might be able to beat the Chargers next week. We'll see. We'll get there.
And keeping on the topic of young quarterbacks, let's talk about one that played against Carolina, and Caleb Williams. What were your assessments from that?
Oh my goodness, I was so happy to see it. The Caleb Williams breakout game finally happened. So many people were doubting him. Oh my gosh, is the number 1 pick gonna flop? Bryce Young 2.0. Stay mad. He figured it out, especially on the deep ball. He went 4 for 4 with 108 yards and 2 touchdowns on the deep passes. Caleb Williams shows why he's the first overall pick. I think things are just fine in Chicago.
So, okay. Now it's time to talk about some teams that could be for real, could not. We just showed it at the top of the block. The Washington Commanders.
Oh,
Are they for real?
I think they're so for reals. No feels. They're so for realsies. It's not. Stop making that face. Let me drop some knowledge. It's gonna be fine. It's gonna be okay.
No feels. They're so for reals.
No feels. They are so for reals.
Next week, feels are for real.
They average an NFL best of 33.8 points and 409 yards in the past 4 games. Okay, numbers. Okay, the numbers speak for itself. If they're able to stay explosive like they were against the Browns last week. I mean, Browns are one of the best defenses in the league. Can we all agree?
Well,
last year.
Liv can't agree.
The verdict is still out for 2024.
We'll see.
Okay, but a stronger defense.
I'll give you strong.
A strong defense, okay. I mean, compared to the Bengals, anyway.
We're getting off topic. All right, how about the Seahawks? They sit at the top of their division, but are they for real?
No. Nope. Get in your fields, Seattle. I don't care about the 3-0 start. How do you lose to Daniel Jones in 2024? Browns fans, I'm sorry. I know y'all lost to Daniel Jones in 2024, but how do you lose to Daniel Jones in 2024?
Yeah.
Okay, they aren't using Kenneth Walker like they should. I know he was injured, but this past game this week, I was like, what are you doing? Can we use Zach Charbonnet? Not just because he's on my fantasy team. but like that would also help. He only had 5 carries on Sunday, and oh my God, DK Metcalf, can you hold the ball? Back-to-back fumbles in games? Is that not a concern? If I'm Seattle, like get him new gloves, get him something. I don't care. How do y'all feel? You didn't like my Seattle pick. What do you think?
Well, we may have to hold that thought maybe for the end because we do unfortunately have to move on. But Dell, it was crazy in week 5. We thank you for the analysis.
Absolutely. Thank y'all.
Well, the Chiefs and the Saints right now having some Monday Night Football. Kareem Hunt, familiar face. He's got the first score for Kansas City. They're up 7-0 in the first quarter. But hey, that one's definitely going to be a good game for sure.
All right, well, it's October. You know what that means? Playoff baseball. And the Cleveland Guardians took on the Detroit Tigers in the opener of the ALDS. Could the Guards give the hometown fans something to cheer about?
Heart doesn't see race. Love is love.
OMG, it's McGruff.
Yes, I am.
He's not my Uncle McGruff the crime dog. No, he's a fake.
Oh. I am McGruff the crime dog. He is the fake. And so is that controller you're holding. It's gonna break. You're smart. Buy smart.
October is here, and that means playoff baseball. The Guardians hosted the Detroit Tigers in Game 1 of the ALDS. Let's head to Progressive Field to see how they fared. Beautiful day in Cleveland, Ohio, and hey, this is a red October CLE style. We head to the top of the first. Runners on second and third. Josh Naylor gets one through, and David Fry, the Fry guy, scores for the Guards. The lead is now 2-0 Cleveland. Reese Olson comes in to try and stop the bleeding and pitch relief for the Tigers, and it goes from bad to worse as Lane Thomas hits a 3-run moonshot to the bleachers. The Lane train absolutely crushing it in Cleveland. Cleveland is up 5-0 still in the first. Tanner Bybee scoreless through 3. Spencer Torkelson sends one straight to Jose Ramirez. Jimenez gets the out, and Naylor gets the out at first to continue the shutout. 2 outs, bottom of the 6th. Fry with a ball out to left field. That scores 2. Fry telling pitcher Ty Madden, just put the fries in the bag, bro. Anyways, Class A is in session. The all-star closer comes on. He's got 2 out already, and this final out is nabbed by Quan. The Guardians get a statement win in Game 1 of the ALDS. They win at 7-0, but hey, we're not going to talk about that second game just yet.
Good evening, Portage County, and we had an instant fall classic in the National League Division Series. I'm Gage Wellman, and let's take you to Philadelphia. Now, as I mentioned, we take you live from the past in Citizens Bank Park as Mark Vientos, he would go opposite field. That would put the Metropolitans up 2-0 at the top of the third. Then, as Brandon Nimmo, he would shoot one into right field. Now this would put the Mets up after a tie game effort from the Phillies in the top of the 7th. Longtime fan favorite of the Met faithful right there. Then Bryson Stott, he would shoot one into right field. Coming around, scoring is Harper. Coming around third is Nick Castellanos. This would give the Phillies the lead late against all-star closer Edwin Diaz. Bryson Stott, he's rallying the Philly faithful as you see Philly fanatics in and out of the stadium. Then Vientos with a multi-homer game, this one coming off of left-hander Matt Strahm. This would give the Mets the lead late. Will this put the Mets up 2-0? I don't know. Mark Vientos looks pretty confident. OMG, that's correct if you ask me. Then Nick Castellanos, he would cut the celebrations for the Mets as that would give the Phillies the 7-6 win and even up the NLDS at 1-1.
And on the other side in the National League, Padres and Dodgers, the LA faithful ready to head to San Diego up 2-0. But Fernando Tatis Jr. has other plans. He goes deep off of Jack Flaherty, and it's 1-0 Padres as he has his 3rd home run this postseason. Now we'll go to the bottom of the 1st. Yu Darvish gets to start for the San Diego, facing Mookie Betts, and Mookie says, "Let me do one better." But Jurickson Profar is on the track, at the wall, makes the catch up against the fans. We'll have more from Profar in just a little bit. Bottom 4, it's 3-0 San Diego. Freddie Freeman lines one to right. How about the extension from Fernando Tatis Jr.? Let's take another look at it. You see that left arm get up there. LA would go 1-2-3 in the inning as Yu Darvish applauds his right fielder's catch. Bottom 6, Kike Hernandez at the dish. He'll send one out to center. Jackson Merrill going back. He's on the track. He has to leap against the wall to make the grab. That will bring the inning to a close. So we will go to the top of the 7th. And this one comes with a little controversy. Jurickson Profar's talking with the fans out there, and you see it right there. A ball gets thrown at him. 2 balls and some trash gets thrown onto the field by the fans before the inning gets started. That would result in a 12-minute delay. Players had to go in a shallow left field for security. That's where they were in that picture you see on your screen. But all was resolved. In top 9 with Padres up 8-1, Tatis hits one to right center field, and he'll do it again. It's a multi-homer night for Fernando, and they will send the series back to San Diego, even at 1 in a big way, by the final score of 10-2.
We finish this journey on the other side of the ALDS, the Royals being hosted by the New York Yankees. We head to the top of the 2nd, 2-on. MJ Melendez sees a slider and he smacks it out to right field. Soto scoops it up and makes a booming throw, and they get him. Salvador Perez is out at home. The game stays 0-0. We head to the bottom of the 3rd. Michael Whack on the bump, and Gleyber Torres takes him a yard, a 2-run bomb that has the Bronx rocking. The Yankees lead it 2-1. We head to the top of the 6th. Both runners in scoring position. Garrett Hampson rolls it between short and second to score Yuli Gurriel and Tommy Pham. We've got another lead change. Royals up 5-4, and we are back tied at 5, and a base hit to left courtesy of Alex Verdugo, and Jazz Chisholm doing his best flash impression as he races home to put New York up 6-5. The Royals are down to their final out, hoping they can get a little Kansas City magic, but instead they get a ground out from Vinny Pasquantino. The Yankees take this game 6-5.
All right, so let's bring it back to the desk with Gage. We mentioned earlier with the Guardians, Game 2 was earlier today. They fell 3-0 in the Tigers in a pitching duel due to a 3-run homer for Kerry Carpenter in the top of the 9th. Gage, you were watching the game in our newsroom. What were your big takeaways?
My big takeaway was that I don't think we've seen the end of the last of the Guardians. I think this was Detroit's one trick. Tarek Skubal, left-hander of the Tigers, has been absolutely killing it all year, and we've seen them. They call them the gritty Tigs for a reason. However, when you jump on, and this is for Cleveland, Houston tried to do this, but they couldn't. This is for Cleveland specifically in this series. When you jump on the Tigers first, and then you put in that lethal bullpen, we saw Cade Smith. We saw I like to call them Cleveland's Holy Trinity. Cade Smith, left-hander Tim Herron, and right-hander Hunter Gaddis. When you put them in, it's lights out. Now, it would be lights out for Clase, but like any closer has mistakes. Closers have miscues, and unfortunately, it came today for Clase. But however, it's better to have it in Game 2 of the ALDS than Game 7 of the World Series.
Good point.
I do think that the Guardians will bounce back. I think they have the pitching. Veteran Alex Cobb will be making the start for the Guards on Wednesday. I just don't think the Tigers have the rotation outside of Skubal to push this beyond one win. I think, what do you guys think?
I think you're definitely correct. We see the next time Skubal will pitch is honestly probably Game 5, and that would be, it would be difficult to see that this one would get to Game 5 regardless of if the Guardians or the Tigers win. I definitely think that it's going to be a really good pitching matchup. I still have faith in this Cleveland, the batting. Today was a really rough day, and if this is the one game that they drop, that's okay.
And especially with the fact that we kind of learned a valuable lesson here, right? Emmanuel Clase is indeed human.
He is. We were very worried. We were so concerned. We were thinking, my God, we've got a pitcher who's losing his mind. I mean, mistakes are okay.
So with that being said, now you kind of have to have the bats going a little bit because they have been quiet. Now, granted, the 5-run first inning was great for Cleveland in Game 1. Where has it been since then? That's the question that kind of needs to be answered if you're Stephen Vogt and the Guardians coaching staff. You just need to get the bats going. And an environment that's going to be in Detroit, it's going to be raucous, especially with this gritty Tiggs mindset that you were talking about earlier. It's going to be interesting to see how they can continue to try and get back to what they were in the regular season. But with that, kind of going into the grand scheme of things in terms of all of Major League Baseball, we're in the middle of the division series. Gage, who do you think will come out at the end of October, early November, as World Series champions?
You're asking for a little bit of a prediction, Matthew?
A little bit, yeah.
I love those San Diego Padres.
Wow.
I do love them.
Okay.
I have never seen, I'm not going to say I've never seen, I've seen it. But the dominance from Fernando Tatis Jr. hitting homer after homer after homer, he is that locker room leader. He's got that swag. He's got the long flowing hair. He's got the aura, as my younger cousins are calling it.
Wow.
I am really excited about these San Diego Padres. Now, in years we've seen them choke, especially in 2022 against the Phillies. They had that series. They had them on the run, but they couldn't pull it in. I think the Phillies are equipped with veteran pitchers, arms like Yu Darvish, veteran bats like Manny Machado. I think this is finally the year that all that money, especially with that Xander Bogaerts contract and in the middle of last winter, I think this is finally the time for the San Diego Padres, those Friars, to get the crown.
I mean, that would be completely unprecedented because I'll be honest, if you look on MLB, every staff writer, every reporter, everyone at all has the Dodgers winning this World Series. So somehow if the Padres manage to scrape together a win, I'm going to be really impressed. Now, you have the Padres winning. Obviously, that's the NL side of things. But who do you see coming out on top of the AL?
Man, I was having fun in the NL. I was going risky with us Padres, but guys, I got to pull it back.
Okay.
The New York Yankees are making the World Series.
There it is.
It's just not enough competition. Let's say Cleveland does pull it out in a 4-game or even 5-game series against the Tigers. Then they're going to go against a well-rested Yankees team with Aaron Judge and Juan Soto and Garrett Cole with a bullpen that has been struggling, but we've seen closers struggle in the regular season, but then they find it. They find their niche, and they go off in the postseason. I expect that from Clay Holmes and the New York Yankees, and unfortunately, I think Big Brother, Evil Empire will take the AL pennant.
All right, it's going to be fun to watch, so we'll see it all unfold. Thanks, Gage.
No problem, Matt.
All right, so our award-winning segments are right around the corner, so don't touch that dial, folks. We'll be right back.
You all had a good weekend and are ready to be inspired. One quick thing I want to remind you guys to be studying.
Major key alert. Did you just look at your phone while you was in class? You played yourself.
Today we're talking about inspirational quotes.
You want to get that paper? You better turn in that paper and get an A+. That's a major key. Another one. Mogul talk. You want to reach the mountaintop? You got to go hard. To succeed, you have to believe. Stay focused. Fly higher than the eagle. Don't ever play yourself. The key is to make it, so make it.
Louise, can you give me an example of an inspirational quote from recent history?
Don't play yourself. The key is to make it.
And who said that?
I did. Now that's a major key alert.
Learn the real major keys to getting to college at getschool.com.
There was an old woman who lived in a shoe. She had so many children, she didn't know what to do. She gave them some broth without any bread and kissed them all soundly.
Lights out.
And put them to bed. Hunger is a story we can end. End it at feedingamerica.org.
After you joined our family, it was like, I really do feel complete now.
For Empowerment this week, we are heading down to highlight the Orlando Pride, who clinched the team's first ever NWSL Shield on Sunday. The Orlando Pride have been on fire all season, having yet to lose a game this season with 3 games left. Brazilian icon Marta scored the game-winning penalty, putting the finishing touches on Sunday's 2-0 win over second-place Washington Spirit. Marta says, quote, "I stayed here because I wanted to make history with this team, and we did, and then we go for more," end quote. With this win, the Pride clinched the 1 seed for the playoffs and will look to take home the NWSL Championship. Orlando Pride will look to continue their unbeaten streak Friday as they take on New York Gotham FC.
All right. Let's get chaotic, shall we? There was a ton of chaos in the gridiron last week, but something that may have gone under the radar in terms of the wild scenes that were in football happened out in Santa Clara. And because of that, show me the Arizona Cardinals! They took down an NFC juggernaut in the San Francisco 49ers Sunday by the final score of 24-23. Now, I get it. San Francisco isn't really lighting the world on fire as they went into the matchup only at 2-2. However, this is a team that went to the Super Bowl last year and have made the NFC title game for the last 3 years in a row. We know who they are in the league, and they were favored by 7.5 going into the game. But Arizona lost a lot of people, a lot of money around this country. Kyler Murray threw just under 200 yards on the day and had a passing and rushing touchdown, and Arizona looks like a totally different team from when they got bounced by the Commanders just 2 weeks ago, 42-14 at home. This win was crazy, jaw-dropping, and simply put, chaotic. That's why the Arizona Cardinals are this week's feature on Corrali Chaos. All right, now to end the show today, we wanted to celebrate playoff baseball by providing our favorite postseason moments. And I will start here. You know, there are a lot of options when it comes to playoff moments across the board. Now, I was born in 2002, for reference.
Okay.
I'm going to go on a little bit of a wild card selection here.
All right, here we go.
2014.
God.
Wild card game, American League, Oakland A's, Kansas City Royals. That game ended 9-8 in 12 innings. That was unbelievable because you knew that Oakland was good. They made the playoffs the last couple of years in a row, but Kansas City came out of nowhere to be fun. They haven't been to the playoffs, to my recollection, since '85 when they won the World Series. They won that game in a walk-off hit from Salvador Perez, who, by the way, it's incredible that he's still playing, by the way. And they made it all the way to the World Series Game 7, but they ran into Madison Bumgarner, who in 2014 was pretty much like Thanos in terms of baseball. So that's mine. I was going to say, I know there could be a sense of familiarity, maybe a sense of repetitiveness, but I'll right back and see.
We try to be creative. I see your 12 innings. I raise you 15.
Ooh, okay.
My more recent one, this happens to be the only playoff game I've ever had the pleasure of going to. Guardians fans remember this one.
I see where you're going with
Oscar Gonzalez walk-off home run. Now listen, every opposing team despised the fact that Oscar Gonzalez's walk-up song was SpongeBob, and it's been 15 innings. We're tired. We're cold. It's windy. It was just absolutely awful. He steps up to the plate and he smashes one to the bleachers, and I truly felt absolutely amazing. And then the Guardians ran into the Yankees, who I think are still kind of like Thanos. I don't remember. Rain delay, yada yada.
It's funny because the pitcher that he hit that off of was a former Cleveland great and 2-time Cy Young Award winner Corey Kluber.
Yeah.
So I thought that was a really neat storyline towards the end of that game.
Very full circle.
A little bit of poetry, poetic justice, just like AJ Hinch bouncing the Astros.
Yeah.
So much poetic justice.
Is that your pick? Dylan, what about
no,
you?
that's mine. Y'all know I'm a Houston girl through and through. I love Houston. I'm gonna throw you for a loop and give you 2016. The Cubbies breaking the curse of the Billy Goat. I mean, I thought it was beautiful. It was so exciting. I had a little personal thing. A family friend of mine, he lost his father, and his father was a kid the last time the Cubbies won the World Series, and he lost his father that year, and then the Cubs went and won it, and it was such an emotional moment. We were like, oh my God, he won it for Grandpa, that's so beautiful. And just the generations of Cubs fans that got to celebrate and, you know, have their crown and win it too.
Yeah, I don't think that's a beautiful moment as it is. I don't think you're winning many fans with our Cleveland viewership, but I do appreciate it. It was still a great win for the Cubbies.
What was it? 104 years?
Yeah. Now the Guardians are at 75. Blah 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 blah.
Here's what about you.
Not bitter.
Well, I was gonna go all aggressive because I'm a big Astros hater. But now with that beautiful, tender story, I feel like I can't. So I'll dial it down. I'll go a little bit calmer. One of my favorite playoff stories of all time, the 2019 Washington Nationals. Yes. Now, folks, at the midpoint. You're
going to make me cry, Gage.
Well, we've got tissues, folks. And the studio, don't let her lie. Howie Kendrick took over this young gun team with youngsters such as Juan Soto and Victor Robles, and he absolutely shoehorned them into the playoffs with homers against the Dodgers, with clutch performances from Juan Soto against the Brewers, a knockoff Josh Hader in the wild card round. Now, let me actually pick a moment here. Howie Kendrick, Game 7 of the World Series in Minute Maid Park, shoots one, and I think the noise off that tall foul pole was bang! And the Nationals, they went from worst to first.
I still hear it. It's still hard.
Stella wakes up in a cold sweat. Bang.
It's funny because Houston is such, especially in 2019, and still is, let's face it, it's such a tough place to play, Minute Maid Park, especially in October. And on the biggest stage that they've had, Game 7 of the World Series, Washington just came in and take full control.
And speaking of walk-up songs, does anybody remember? I believe his name was Diego Parra. I'm not confident on Diego, but I know it was Parra. His walk-up. Do you guys remember this? Geraldo Parra. Do you guys remember this?
No. In 2019, my trauma blocked it.
Baby shark doo 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 doo. Baby shark doo 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 doo. Baby shark.
I need tissues for that.
But that alone carried those 2019 Nationals to a complete whirlwind of a miracle championship. I mean, talk about Cinderella, folks. I don't know their record at the All-Star break, but it was bad. It was funky. I watched every game of the 2019 MLB season because I was a little kid. Not a little kid, I was 13. But why go outside?
13 in 2019?
That makes me feel
old. But yes, I am the youngster of the bunch. And that summer of 2019, I remember just watching baseball nonstop. Every week it was Nationals? Oh wait, they just won the World Series.
Man.
My God. Well, this was fun. Thanks for making us feel old, Gage. Anyways, we've got a Monday Night Football game going on. Remember how I said it was 7-0? Yeah, still 7-0. Kareem Hunt with a 5-yard touchdown. I'm hoping to see a Travis Kelce breakout game. I mean, he's been getting told he's old all year, so hopefully he'll be able to stir something up. But hey, we'll go watch that after we wrap this up.
Saints are hanging around. That'll do it for this edition of Sportscorner. Thank you all so much for watching.
For updates from us 24/7, follow us across social media at TV2 KSU Sports. I'm Liv Sharp.
And I'm Matt Corrales saying wherever the ball flies in the air, Kent Stater TV will be there. Good night.
Say with me, imagine what you'd see if every child had a book to read. 'Cause every kid across the nation deserves a book to read, and we can make it happen right now. No, I don't know what you've been told, but kids with books learn so much more. So the mission is for us to get a book to each and every child. So let's join hands, book people unite, unearth hidden passion. To motivate some magic, to change the writing on the wall, writing on the wall, and make a difference. One book can inspire a child. One book can be the first little thing that helps to change a life.
Read to a child today and spark a lifetime of ambition.
Good morning. Hope you all had a good weekend and are ready to be inspired. One quick thing I want to remind you guys to be studying.
Major key alert. Did you just look at your phone while you was in class? You played yourself.
Today we're talking about inspirational quotes.
You want to get that paper? You better turn in that paper and get an A+. That's a major key. Another one. Mogul talk. You want to reach the mountaintop? You got to go hard. To succeed, you have to believe. Stay focused. Fly higher than the eagle. Don't ever play yourself. The key is to make it, so make it.
Louise, can you give me an example of an inspirational quote from recent history?
Don't play yourself. The key is to make it.